Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's your boy Matthew here, and today we're here back with another video where we go abroad, and this time we're going on a long weekend to Rome. Now, if you're a runner like me or interested in having a good fitness, then you will want to try and maintain that fitness as much as possible whilst abroad. So whilst abroad, there's many opportunities just not to exercise and to have a very unhealthy diet, which will not be good in the long term for your fitness. So whilst you're having a good time, how do you keep your fitness? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I did that, and you can watch along to learn my tips, and you too can stay healthy whilst having a good time abroad. Now, the one thing I'd like to add before getting into this video is whilst in Rome, you'll be seeing all the buildings there and on a very tight schedule. So naturally, that will mean I will not have any time to do any running. So instead, I'll be showing you the fitness I did instead to try and keep me healthy. So an alternative to running is walking, and going around to see all these buildings, we'll definitely be going between place to place, doing a lot of walking. So that means I will be using the Garmin Forerunner 265 to track all my progress. This watch is perfect for me for doing this, as it tells me the amount of steps I do, it tracks the distance I will walk, and overall it gives me many health stats which I'll be interested in looking at. A reason why I like the Garmin Forerunner 265 in particular is because of the amazing battery life it has. With a battery life of GPS mode of 20 hours, this means I can charge the watch the night before, quite simply put it on, and not have to worry about it running out of battery, which is quite a nice feeling to have. This watch also has a very accurate GPS, which is good for when being in Rome, because when I'm in between all these city buildings, it's easy for the GPS to get lost and then for it to be inaccurate, meaning my stats will be inaccurate. But with the Garmin Forerunner 265, this GPS is very accurate, especially in city buildings, which is exactly what we want, because this will allow my stats to be very accurate. Without further ado, let's get into this video, and if you do enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below any other future running videos you have for me, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so I'm going on a Ryanair flight, which means I'm not allowed a suitcase, and I have to take this colossal bag with me. It literally has everything I'll be bringing with me to Rome with me, and I have to carry that on my back. So one thing that will be certain is my back muscles will be worked. And I put it next to my TV to give you a size comparison of what it looks like. And believe me, if you think it looks heavy, it most certainly is heavy. So before we leave to the airport, the one thing I will want to talk about is the prep which I put in before we actually went to Rome. So I took into consideration which I won't be doing any running for the next 4 days. So instead, I've increased my mileage for this week, and I did a few double days throughout the week, which basically got me to the mileage which I want for this week. So on the screen now is a stat showing that I did 65 kilometers, which is only 3 kilometers less than last week, which means I'm still getting the same mileage in. What I'm saying is, adapt around your holiday break and get the mileage in whilst you can earlier in the week. Now, I got my watch to say I still need over 50 hours of rest, and luckily for me, I won't be doing any running over Rome, so that means I will get the rest in. So even if you put in a hard effort, you will get the rest and recovery whilst you're away. Upon arrival at Stansted, there is many fast food options, and first of all I had to fill up with a Monster to give me some energy for the flight to come. Next up we went to Burger King, which may have not been the healthiest option, but I did have a big Whopper, which contained lettuce, onions, pickles and tomatoes, which are all very healthy. I then treated myself to some fries and a Dr Pepper, but I promise you I will eat more healthier from here on. Whilst at Stansted Airport, I got this travel pillow which cost 10 quid. This was a bargain deal because it was super comfy and it limited any back pain I would have. Alright guys, we have landed in Rome. It's now 8:30. Pretty much spent the whole day travelling. Plane got delayed, which isn't ideal, but we're here now. Probably gonna go to the hotel and then go to the restaurant. So we're finally arrived at the hotel. I'm going to put the name of the hotel on the screen now. I'm not going to try and pronounce it because you can see. But basically it's like 10 o'clock by the time we arrived, and we decided to get something from the hotel itself instead of going on the street. So I got this pizza. It looks pretty healthy. Just a little square. Microwaved it myself. And then this Italian drink called Amita, I believe. Looks like a pear flavoured juice, which it's healthier than Coke, so yeah, I think this is quite a little healthy dinner for the evening. Alright guys, welcome to day 2, and last night's sleep, well, let's just say it wasn't the best I ever had.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
In total, I had about 4 hours sleep. The bed was just really solid. I don't want to sound too harsh, but it was just really hard, but hopefully tonight I'll get more sleep as I'll be more tired, but I might have to have like a Red Bull to fuel me through the day. Yesterday it was just travelling, but today, this is where the activities today, and we've got quite a lot of sightseeing, and Rome is a big place, and we're going to be walking between all the buildings, so naturally we will be getting quite a lot of steps in today. I was going to do like a plank or something when I woke up today, but at the moment I'm just too tired and I'm barely awake, but I might do something when we get back to the hotel later. So starting off with breakfast, I had a bit of a cultural shock when I went into the breakfast room. But at the moment, this is part 1, this is not all I'm going to have. But I've just got some peaches, which is the healthiest thing I could see there. Alright, part 2, something healthy. Sunflower seeds, almonds, raisins, and a croissant. Also got a cappuccino because I need some energy to get through this day. Finally, part 3, we've got a jam tart and 3 of these biscuit things. After taking the metro, we time travelled into ancient Rome.
Не знаю. Как?
So after taking the metro by the train, we have now arrived at the big one. We're starting off big with the Colosseum. Now, I think we all know what the Colosseum is, as it is one of the 7 wonders of the world. You can definitely tell why that is the case because of just how beautiful and how big it is. Now, the guy waving the blue flag in the air was our tour guide Fabio, and he basically told us a load of facts about the Colosseum as we walked around. Centre of the Colosseum. Wow. That is insane. Naturally, the Colosseum was very busy. But if you're going to Rome, I just don't think you can miss out by just how beautiful of a building it is. After visiting the Colosseum, we then headed over to the Palatine Hill, one of the 7 hills in Rome. Now, we had a long walk through these beautiful trees overhead before coming into some of the ancient ruins in Rome. Now, we saw some very famous temples, but we also saw some famous houses from famous Roman people, including the House of Augustus and the House of Livia. Once again, Fabio the tour guide was with us, where he showcased what some of the buildings were, so we had an idea of what we were looking at. By this point, we had just entered the Palatine Hill, and we'd already been walking for over 2 hours and 40 minutes. However, the views from the viewpoint were beautiful, and it showcased a lot of Rome. Now, you've just got to think, some of these ruins are over 2,000 years old, so for them to survive this long is truly spectacular. Alright guys, so going to Rome, there's a lot of sightseeing to see, but there's also a lot of walking. So far we've done 8 kilometers and we're only halfway through the day, so if we continue this rate we could be up to 16 kilometers by the end of the day. But now we've found somewhere to have some lunch. I'm absolutely starving, so I'm gonna go for this pizza here which has onions on it, which out of all the pizza options it's probably one of the healthier choices. If you guys are wondering what this bracelet is, basically we were leaving the Roman Forum. This guy came up to me. He told me I was a very nice gentleman and he liked how I was English. And then he proceeded to give me one of his bracelets and then charged me €2 for it. So, yeah, I got scammed. With 4 hours of sleep and all this walking, I thought I've got to have myself another monster. So the pizza's arrived. I got the onion. But I also believe there's tuna on there, which I did not realise would be on there, and I do not like tuna, so it's not ideal. Alright guys, so in the end we got the tuna pizza replaced, and instead we've got a sausage and chips pizza. So I know it may not be healthy, but I just got to get some fuel in me for the rest of the day. Now, after lunch, we headed back to the Colosseum before going into Nero Caesar's palace. At this point, it started to rain very hard, but luckily the ruins were inside. Do you know what we did after that? We did more walking. We walked for about 20 minutes until we reached this location, which is known as the Mouth of Fortune. Now, this right here is a sewage pipe, and you may be thinking, Matthew, why the hell do you have your hand in a sewage pipe? Well, legend has it, if you're ungrateful, then the sewage pipe will snap your hand off. And no, it didn't snap mine off. Then after this, we walked back to the metro where we travelled by train back to the hotel. Now, you have to appreciate for the past 7 hours, we've either been walking or standing up. And by this point, my legs were bloody knackered. However, don't let that deter you from going from Rome, because the buildings are definitely worth seeing. Alright guys, so what has felt like a year of walking, literally an entire day we've spent walking. We're finally back in the hotel, and in about an hour's time we will go and have dinner. But at the moment, I've got a bit more energy with me with this Monster Aussie lemonade. Fun fact for you, caffeine drinks like Monster and Red Bull don't have any age restriction in Italy, which is something I didn't know. I am of the age in England, but I was thinking to myself for like 2 times the purchase in the drink, why am I not getting ID'd? And it turns out you don't need ID because there's no age restriction. So that's a fun little fact. And then for dinner I had spaghetti and meatballs, which I think is quite a healthy combination, reviewing all the other options which were on the menu. And then after dinner we went back to the hotel where I showcased some of my Super Snooker skills. Right, so the time's now 11 o'clock, which means it is getting quite late. I might have done a workout if it was earlier, but it's not. So what I'm going to do, I'll definitely do something tomorrow, I promise you. But today, we did a hell of a lot of walking. In total, here's the step count on the screen, which is mental for one day. There was also a lot of standing around, which means my legs are quite fatigued. So if you're going to Rome, you probably won't need to worry about doing a run because the walking is just enough fitness for you. Tomorrow is going to be pretty much the same, just seeing different buildings. So yeah, it's going to be another action-packed day with a hell of a lot of walking. Alright guys, day 3 and we're back in the hotel having a breakfast. Today I've got 2 croissants, a cappuccino and some peach tea here. So I think it's a healthy start to the day. But yeah, it's going to be a similar sort of day from yesterday. We're going to visit a lot of places. Alright guys, so first stop for the day is at the Spanish Steps, which is going to be good for our fitness because there's a lot of steps to walk up. We made it to the top of the steps. It's a nice view from up here, so it's worth it. Don't hold me to this, but I believe I was told it was 135 steps. So it's quite a bit, but it's worth it once you get to the top because what a nice little view we have of Rome. We then walked to the Areopagus, which was given to Augustus in 13 BC dedicated to the peace which he had brought to Rome. The reconstruction shows the beautiful detail of the building. After this, we then walked along the River Tiber to our next destination. At this point of the day, it was now 11 o'clock, and with my watch being on 5k mileage, this predicts me to be coming in at a similar mileage to yesterday of around 16 kilometers. And with a busy afternoon of sightseeing ahead, I would almost certainly beat my step count from yesterday. But in the meantime, we just appreciated the sunny weather of around 23 degrees at this point, and also the beautiful architecture of bridges that we walked under. And speaking of sunny weather, your boy had to hook himself up right with some sunglasses. However, I did pay €10, which might have been a bit of a scam. And finally, after all the walking, we reached our next destination, which was the Pantheon. Out of all the buildings which we saw, this might have been one of the most impressive buildings out of the lot. The building you see here was built by Emperor Hadrian in the year 120 AD. Nearly 2,000 years after the Emperor Hadrian constructed the Pantheon, it still boasts to be the world's largest unreinforced dome in the entire world. Now that is pretty impressive. Then after that, we visited an equally impressive building of the Trevi Fountain. Alright guys, a busy morning of walking along the Tiber and visiting the Pantheon. And after a few circles around Rome, we finally came to a lunch. I know you're going, we're in a McDonald's, yep. And that's not very healthy. But the thing is, it's 1 o'clock and we're all starving. And the thing is, I've got this salad, a garden salad here, which is healthy. So to go into McDonald's and to get a salad is great for me. So you've got to give me some kudos for this. I also treated myself to some pistachio McFlurry because it is boiling hot out there. And they also gave me some breadsticks. But yeah, a garden salad in a McDonald's, if that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. Then after filling up on my garden salad McDonald's, we then visited the Capitoline Museum, which meant more walking and more sightseeing. The museum contained many Roman statues and many Roman paintings, so if you've got a chance to visit the museum, then I would highly recommend you going there. By this point my legs were very tired, but it's definitely worth it once you reach this beautiful viewpoint. And for dinner, I decided to treat myself with this onion mushroom sausage pizza. And this time no tuna. Alright guys, so we're back at the hotel, and we were going to do a workout tonight, but after 2 days of non-stop walking with rest for dinner, my legs are very tired, which means I won't be doing any workouts tonight. I might do something tomorrow, but tomorrow we're going to Vatican City and then going home. So this is the final night's sleep, which is a strange thought because it's only felt like we arrived yesterday, which was only 2 days before, but yeah. Another very busy day of sightseeing, and if you're going to go to Rome, don't worry about doing any runs because you're doing a hell of a lot of walking. Alright guys, welcome to day 3. We're back with breakfast. I just picked up bread and croissant. I'm all on the fuel here with the fluids. Nice iced tea peach and a cappuccino because I'll be needing energy. First off of the day, we're going to be going to the Vatican City. New country, world's smallest country in the world, fun fact, and yeah, that's literally in Rome, so we're going to take the metro there, and yeah, do sightseeing there, but then, second half of the day, we're going to be taking the plane home. It's kind of scary to say that. By the end of today, I will be back in my own bed, but yeah, it's going to be an eventful day, but it's the final day. Just reflecting on the trip, I wanted to do maybe some more workouts. I didn't do anything really, but the amount of walking I did, at the end we will get a step count up for the amount of steps we did in total and the amount of distance we walked in total. But if you're going to Rome, you don't need to really worry about doing any other exercise because the amount of walking you do will keep you fit. Alright guys, we're about to go into the Vatican City. We enter this door, we're entering an entire new country, which is crazy to say. Here we go. There we are. I'm officially in the world's smallest country. What? So we finally made it through a lot of security, a lot of passport checks. We're in the world's smallest country, the Vatican City, which is going to be quite a boast. So yeah. A very beautiful country, and it's where the Pope lives. But yeah, there's a A lot of lovely little buildings, a lot of lovely little sculptures. Yeah, it's nice and sunny. I left my sunglasses in my bag, so I'm without sunglasses, which is not ideal, but yeah, it's quite pleasant. Now that right there is one big pine cone. Now we visited the Vatican Museum, and in there was a massive variety of different sculptures and beautifully painted ceilings. Now this is quite a big tourist attraction, but the architecture alone is just so impressive that even with the busy queues to get in and whilst you're in there, it's definitely worth giving the Vatican City a visit. Alright guys, we are in the airport. I will do a proper summary of the trip when I get home, but at the moment we've got a monster because I need some energy for the airport. But we went to Vatican City this morning. 23k at 7 Strava, I highly doubt that. We did take the train back, it probably includes some of that, so we're probably looking more like maybe 10-12k. But yeah, a lot of walking for the past 3 days. And after nearly losing my passport, we were on the way home. And just like that, we are home. Setting out for this trip, I wanted to stay as fit as possible, and I would definitely say I've achieved that because the amount of walking we've done is crazy. Now, I haven't done the maths right now, but on the screen is a load of stats about steps I've done, which is crazy. I don't know the exact number, but I definitely know it's going to be high. Now, if you're going to go to Rome and do the sightseeing there, you don't need to do any running because the amount of walking you do is mental. If you're going to do sightseeing and walking the whole day, then it is just you will be getting exercise from the walking. You don't need to do any running. But yeah, if you're thinking of taking the bus, don't just walk. Just walk because it's not impossible, but it is quite far. Now, I do appreciate this video is probably quite different to what I usually do, and it may not be the best edited quality video, but that is because I'm very tired, and also it's just been such a busy, busy couple of days. But I thoroughly enjoyed going to Rome, and if you're thinking of going to Rome, I recommend it because the buildings there are quite simply stunning. But yeah, with that being said, we're going to end the video here. We will be back with future running content in the near future. Twilight 5k in the next month, so we will be building up for that. But yeah, if you enjoyed this vlog, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.